So, today, instead of me doing two videos, I'm going to combine two videos into one. On the left-hand side over here, I'm going to be showing you um, basically me putting on one of those skins that I was telling you about on my iPhone. Because the way my iPhone is protected right now, which is the iPhone 11, I've got a clear case on it, cheap one. And I also have a skin on the front or glass cover, because at least for the first few weeks and months, I want to make sure that my handling of a new device is, I get used to it. I don't accidentally scratch it up, because usually that's the critical moments of me having a phone. If I can hold on to it for 5, 6 weeks, half a year, maybe a year with a screen cover on, then I'll be a-okay for the rest of the time, because that's when I accidentally forget about the phone in my pocket, or I drop the phone because I'm not used to the weight. That's when stupid things happen. So this is me trying to rectify that issue there. So, you know what? Forget about this. There we go. Lower myself a little bit. There is something else. I have dislikes and likes. I'm going to tell you what I have discovered about this phone that I like and I don't like right here, right now. So this is kind of my review of the iPhone 11. Not Plus, not Max, but 11. So, first off, let's start with some of the dislikes. The first one, and I don't know if you can see it, is the notch. I'm going to put a picture of it over there. I am notch hater number 0001. I absolutely hate the notch. The notch is basically your phone glass goes further to the very close to the edge, but not exactly to the edge or curving over the edge. But there's a notch in the middle where electronics are, where possibly the infrared, and you definitely need a camera, and a couple of other different cameras are located, and devices are located, like motion sensors and other things to do the special things that they do. You can't cover it up with a screen, so you're going to have some black space. Apple decided to go over on each left and right side of their device to make sure that, it's weird. It's a notch. I don't like it. And because of that, the only way you can see the percentage of the battery that has been used so far is to go into one of those notches and pull down. You have to pull from, I believe, the left-hand side. So you have to pull down from the left-hand side to get the control center so that you can... That's weird. To me, that's weird. That's a dislike. This is something I will have to get over. So not being able to see the percentage is wacky to me. I don't like it. There should be a button inside of settings to turn it on. Here in the past, there used to be a button. It's no longer there. So that's number 2. Number 3. What in the heck is Deep Fusion, and why isn't it out there yet? And then I started, because I heard about Deep Fusion, and I was like, "Oh, this is Deep Fusion. I want to try it. It's like some video stuff." I'm like, "I want to try this here." And then I found out that Apple was technically waiting on the Pixel 4 to release. This is the rumor. The Pixel 4 to release, and once it releases, then they'll adjust their software accordingly and either come up to that level or go beyond that level. It's like, I get it. I understand that they're doing it. I don't like that they're doing that. So that was number 3. Number 4. I like the design. Notice I'm using the word like. I'm not using the word love. I'm using the other L word. I like the glass and the glass. It feels expensive in your hand. What I don't like is this smoothness all the way around because when you have this smoothness all the way around, it really feels slippery in your hand, like it's gonna fall. I would love for them to put a textured grip, or not textured grip, but some type of non-smooth edge around the bumper of this phone, so it'll be more comfortable in your hand when the phone is naked in your hand. A naked phone in your hand, a naked iPhone in your hand does not feel good. It just doesn't. It does not feel good whatsoever. And I also put down here, I was a very big fan of the iPhone 4 and 5 when it had this radical design change that the new iPad Pro is currently using, that type of design, which is an edge design, bucket, nice, hard edges, and I love that hard edgy design. But, this is what Apple likes right now. The next thing is, it's pretty obvious. These lenses are huge. Both these two eyes are huge. My biggest fear is scratching it up. That is 100% my biggest fear, is scratching up my rear lenses. Which is one of the reasons why my case itself has a little bit of a bezel on it, so that it can try to protect those lenses. It's just so weird. It's something I don't like. I love that it's a bigger camera. I'm checking to see if it's scratched right now. Is that a scratch? That's not a scratch. It's not a scratch. You see? It's not a scratch. It's not a scratch. Yeah, it's a scratch. Oh, it's not a scratch. Okay. It's not a scratch. Number 5 was fear of scratching the camera lenses on the back. Number 6, iOS 13 and iPad are both missing the info button. Now this is where I can stop and just really yap about this for one quick moment. If you're working on a video, you build the best video ever. But you have to put this video in 3 different places. Each one of these places you need to put it in, they want different specs. One person says, hey, we'll take a 4K. Thank you for the 4K. The other one says, hey, we'll take 1080p only. That's cool. The last one says, sorry, the maximum we can take is 720p. So you got to make 3 videos of the exact same video that you originally made. So you've got this, and then you make 3 more copies of it. Okay, so that's 4 videos. Now, when you're looking at your photos, you see the 4 videos. You can see that each one of them were made on the same day. But did you make the 1080p first, or did you make the 720p first? Or did you do the 4K first? Which one did you make first? That's the problem. There is no info button. Android has always had an info button. I'm not saying I want to be an Android fan. It's just that I have had Android devices, and I know they have an info button. You hit that info button. It's like a little, it's you know what it is? It's a freaking circle with an eye in it. It's a freaking circle with an eye in it. You hit that button, it gives you all the information about what's going on. I'm just. The only other way you can do this is to go into another program like LumaFusion, which is what I use for video editing. When you click on that item, you can hit the info button, and you can see this video is this spec, that video is that spec, and so forth and so forth. I shouldn't have to use all the applications to find out which one of these videos is the one that I need for this particular person. You know what I'm saying? And I want to go through. You know what? We only hit number 6 here, so I'm going to have to chop this up. I'm going to have a dislike video and a like video. I'm just realizing that at this point because time is flying away. It's like, because it's a lot of stuff. The next one, iOS 13.1.3 still feels sticky. And when I say it feels sticky, what did I put down here for that? When I say it feels sticky, slight hesitations when I open up photos for editing, that's a fact right there. It still feels faster than my 6S Plus using the same operating system. But realize what I just said. This is an 11 and not a 6S Plus. This is supposed to be a lot more advanced. Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, that's a creepy thing I just did right there. And that's actually in my likes, not in my dislikes. I'm just saying it's a security feature I like, but it's creepy. So, what's the next thing over here? That was number 7. It still feels sticky because it's like there's a hesitation, and it's almost like the operating system is maybe a little bit too bloated. Something's wrong, something's off, and it needs more refining on the OS. It just does, because it's a brand new phone. It came with 13 on it. I had to put it up to 13.1.3, and once I got it up there, it still feels sticky. And with the iPad, well, this is what happened to the freaking iPad. I'm pointing right now. This is what happened to the freaking iPad. You know, it's having issues. It doesn't know whether it's going up or down. It's just whacked out sometimes. Let's move on. Number 8. The complexity of the camera system is overwhelming. It's very overwhelming at first, but this may actually be something I need to get over again. And I don't know, this is one of those weird things where maybe I had a simpler phone. Open, shoot, done. Open, shoot, done. This one, open, do I need portrait? Do I want it to be alive? Do I want it to be this? Do I want it to be that? Do I use the 1X or do you use the 0.5X? Which one am I using? It's a lot of different studio settings when you want guerrilla tactics. You don't want studio gangster. You want guerrilla tactics. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it's a lot of features, and I'm not feeling comfortable with going out, getting a quick shot of the sunset while the bus is doing 60 miles an hour down the road. Sometimes I only have like 3 or 4 seconds before I hit that shot. And if I'm fumbling over the phone and it's taking me 15 seconds to find the right setting, we got a problem. I'm just saying, we might have a problem. To rectify that a little bit, I went to another one of my older apps because I realized that, I had other camera apps on here when I had the iPhone 4. And it may or may not be better. I'm still pondering over that. That's actually a good thing because some of my older apps have continued to thrive and survive. Therefore, I might be able to find an alternative way to just do a quick shot without all the crazy camera settings to mess around with. This is something I will have to get over. Maybe I can't be a studio gangster. Maybe I can't be a guerrilla tactics shooter anymore. Now I have to be a studio gangster and always say, hold on, wait one moment, let me get my camera, tap, 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 15 seconds later, take the shot, thank you, and then walk. Maybe I have to do that. I don't know. That's a weird thing to me. This is the reason why I have to make a second video for this year. Let's see. What's the next thing over here? The iPhone 11 does get rather warm. Yeah, you know what? I've seen people talk about, their phone is nice, everything is great, and they're in their studio, and they're saying they did this thing, they did that thing, and my bad. There we go. They did this thing, they did that thing, and all of a sudden, the phone was still nice and chill and cool. It didn't even get warm. I'm like, you guys are effing lying. The phone does get warm. If the phone freaking gets warm when you're doing stuff on LTE, your average Joe and Jane ain't sitting in the house with a cell phone, communicating. They don't have home offices. You guys in the YouTube world, y'all got studio offices. I got one too, but that's a totally different thing. I got one too. That's totally different. I got coffee sip. Anyway, here's the thing. It is unrealistic to think that this phone is not going to get warm or even rather hot when in heavy use or medium use. In medium use, this phone is getting warm. It's not staying cold. I'll tell you that right now. There's no cooler in here, no fan in here, no thermal system of any cooling system of any kind to freaking keep this thing from getting warm. Okay, it's just not happening. Number 10, I resolved it. I play Words with Friends. It's a good game. I play it all the freaking time. It's my in-between game because CRS racing is not appropriate in every freaking setting. Because sometimes, when you're playing that game and you're CSR racing and you're going up against a freaking Maserati and all you got is a freaking Ford Focus with a turbocharger and everything else tapped on there. Got my tires done, I got this done. I'm taking down this freaking Maserati. Yeah! You lose the race and you go home curled up like a fried shrimp and cry about it. That I did just a moment ago, you can't do that at work, But when you have that McLaren that only weighs 2,500 pounds, and then you took some weight off of it, you go up against the big guy, and your McLaren F1. I'm containing the excitement. Oh my God, I'm containing the excitement. That was number 10. But number 10 is technically resolved. I ended up removing Words with Friends and then bringing it back. And it actually plays better now than it did before. At the same time, it looks very good. It really does look very good. But my problem was the original install did not stick. That was very disappointing. So, I don't know how many other apps I'm having issues like that with, but that was, a little bit on the discerning side, but I just deleted it and brought it back. The last thing that I'm going to complain about, official thing that I'm going to complain about, is there is no 3.5 jack on this freaking phone. Instead, if I want to use a headphone jack, the 3.5 millimeter, I've got to do that. I got to dingle-dung it. Dingle-dung, dingle-dung. This is not how I wanted to live my cell phone life, walking around with a little dongle. But apparently this is the way Apple is doing it now, is everyone walks around with a little dongle. Because dingling is the thing that Apple does now. So this is a dislike. This is a dislike. Now, the very, very last thing is not about this phone, but it's about the operating system itself. I like that they split the iOS 13 for the iPhone away from iPad OS 13. I love the split because there is a difference between using an iPad as opposed to using an iPhone. Hang on, iPhone. Oh, you know what? There is a difference between using an iPhone and using an iPad. Because of this difference, I know that some things don't translate back and forth. But my biggest issue with Apple and the way they're treating the iPad is the iPad still does not have a calculator built into the system from Apple. That's a big complaint of mine. It's a ginormous complaint. My mom would be so freaking happy if she had a freaking calculator this freaking big. It would be this freaking big. Buttons all over the place, rotating, and then you get the other scientific calculator. My mom's not gonna do any freaking quadratic equations. She's not that kind of person. But I would love her to have the option to do quadratic equations. That's the end of this video. That's all my dislikes. I'm yelling like that dude from ESPN. That's it. But I am using whole sentences and I'm not putting freaking pauses in it. Another sip. Pinky is up. That's the end of this video.